to care about those things that we've kind of been letting you slip by on. But the other stuff is some people have been earning suckers by coming to me and asking me stuff about homework problems, because in 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6, each of them have an issue in the homework of either an incomplete homework, like a problem that is not, problem that doesn't have everything you need, or just like it was my bad, right? Like, which honestly, it was probably likely my bad. I also forgot to turn off the little picture-in-picture thing, so we'll leave it there for today. But all right, let's look at 2.4 first. 2.4 first. In 2.4, the issue was 83. So if we look at 83, and not really the issue, and actually we can talk about 85 as well. Yeah, here's the annoyance with that picture-in-picture thing. It like kind of blocks things. So guys, anytime we have a proportion, we're able to solve by cross multiplication. But the tricky part here is, if we cross multiply, 6 times 4 is obviously 24. The part that's tricky is 3 times this denominator would need to be 3 times x plus 2, and we would need to distribute that multiplication. So this would really turn into 3x plus 6, and then we can solve it from there. Any questions on the fact that cross multiplication will always work? Cross multiplication will always work. So then we could take 6 away from both sides, right, and then divide by 3. Now another one that some people struggle on, it's not really a typo, but when I was looking through homework, you guys remember, you don't have to have all the right answers on your homework, but you probably should if you care about it. Down here, how can we destroy a fraction? Noah?
By multiplying it by its reciprocal.
It's reciprocal. So we want to multiply on both sides by 6 over 7. So really over here, 6 over 7. And actually, we could cross-reduce. If you want to, you could cross-reduce with the 140 and the 7, or just multiply through, do the division, get your answer that way. 0.85, to get rid of that, you divide by 0.85 since it's multiplied, right? Yeah, Leah?
Could you also divide the fraction?
You could divide by 7/6, but it's kind of like if I'm trying to think through dividing by a fraction that doesn't quite make sense. But it will get you the same answer. Mathematically, it does the same thing. So 140, now be careful, you'd have to put parentheses in your calculator to get it to actually do the order correctly. Or we could have done 6/7 times 140. We'll get the same answer. So yeah, you should get 120 there. Now, yeah, I know there's fraction buttons and stuff, but I don't want to like cripple you guys by teaching you how to use those, because then when you get to a calculator that doesn't have that obvious button, then you don't know what to do, right? So parentheses.
On this one, it is there.
I know, but not everyone has this calculator. So we need to talk in ways that work on every single calculator, not just the ones that we have. In 625, guys, this was 100% a my bad. Now, the problem is if you turned it in without coming to ask a question about this, like you just either didn't want to make me feel bad, which I'll assume you didn't want to make me feel bad, because I didn't put a question here, which is actually funny of what Leah just asked. Could I have divided by the fraction? Well, 8 times 3 we know is 24. Well, let's check what Maria did. The question that was supposed to be here, and I don't know like how it disappeared, and I probably hit a backspace or a delete and it just like disappeared without me realizing it. I don't know if you ever had that happen on like a document where you accidentally had something highlighted and it just like all of a sudden. So if we check what is 8 divided by, in parentheses, 1/3, oh yeah, it does the same thing. So the question that should have been here is one of them right? Is one of them, well, they're both right. Right, so if you want to on your paper, I didn't count anybody wrong because this is my bad, right? This is like a me typo. But what this should have asked is who's right? They're both right. Now, Maria's doesn't quite make as much sense. I'm going to get bigger, and to get bigger, I'm going to divide by 1/3. But mathematically, it works. May not make as much sense, but mathematically, it works. Yes.
On that one, when I saw their like opinions on it, their words, I was like, oh, this must mean I gotta figure out which one was right. And I was like, wait, they're both right.
Yeah, since you were comparing two people, you could probably make a good... They are both right.
I didn't even look for a question. I just assumed that you were asking.
And in 104, guys, you still have this homework. In 104, there is actually no triangle shown on the paper to be redrawn. Again, my image just disappeared somehow. These are typos I need to go back and fix. But if we go look at the homework, guys, you can always get to the ebook. So if you go to the ebook and you go to 104, you could do this problem right now. If the original triangle is 9, 12, and 15, this also can jog your memory of, did you get 626 done? If the original triangle is 9, 12, and 15, and we're going to scale it by 1/3, what will the new lengths be? And you do not need to announce it out loud. You can just draw it on your paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just draw it the best you can. Any questions? Any other remaining... And we might as well check 626 while we got it out. But any other remaining questions from those homework assignments that had those typos? Yeah.
Is that homework assignment 626?
This is 626, yep. The only place where you will find problem 104 is 626.
Do we have to make them like the actual length? Because I just
No, you do not. Now, if you want to, you can. Like, if you want to grab a centimeter ruler or something. All right, 626. Yeah.
It was funny because I looked at it just now and I drew my own triangle.
Yeah.
Oh, when I did that, I was like, "There's no triangle. I'll skip this one because it's probably a typo."
Well, you can always go check the ebook, right? All right.
I just drew a random triangle and scaled it down.
Here's the rest of our 626. Check our answers. Please ask questions if things don't make sense, because we are going to start the mastery today. Yes, no. I do. It's called mastery. Awesome. Threw it in the trash can and it just got rejected. Back out on the floor.
Why does 104 have an A?
I cut out parts of that.
Oh, okay. I got really confused.
Yeah. Oh, this is the staple? You can also use it a pencil or something. So especially if you have a real wood in there. Here to teach you more than just math. Let's scroll and scroll and scroll. What? Keep scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Come on.
Good afternoon, Phoenix. Could we please have Max Jeremian and Max Wright to the office? Max Jeremian and Max Wright to the office, please. Thank you.
There was an old artist back in the 90s who had a song called Roll. I always think of when I'm saying scrolling. All right, we're going to scroll to the bottom, then we'll come back up if people need.
Mr. Hudson, is
Yes.
it okay if I didn't graph B, but I put down the coordinates because I didn't see that it said graph anywhere on it, so I didn't graph that part.
Does it say graph?
It doesn't. It says graphic validation. No, that's on C. No, B. Oh, I graphed C, not B, because B didn't say graph.
For each situation given below, complete the representations of patterns web. So this is kind of another typo that I should go in and fix. Guys, this is a CPM thing that I've pushed back against. The representations of patterns web. If you look that up in your CPM book, it involves a pattern, a rule, a table, and a graph. So you're supposed to complete the ones that you don't have. So if it gives you the pattern, make the other 3. If it gives you the rule, make the other 3. If it gives you the table, make the other 3. If it gives you the graph, make the other 3. So you probably need graph paper to do this. So remember positive slope versus negative slope. And guys, you got time. This isn't due till Friday. Yeah, you got plenty of time. This isn't due till Friday. So
I'm still working with it.
I kind of didn't really know about the rest of the graphic.
107. Hey, this is a perfect one to ask about. I won't say why, but I will say this is a perfect one to ask about. These triangles are similar. And why did I put an emphasis on z? There are two triangles, just one's inside the other. So this smaller triangle is similar to the larger triangle, but if I think about the lengths of the larger triangle, how long is this edge? How long's the bottom? 18. That's the trap door that you need to put these together and make sure that you use 18 for the bottom of this triangle. So we could say 8 would relate to x, right? And 18 would relate to 8, right? The shorter triangle uses 8. The bigger triangle uses 18. Careful with that. Make sure you put those together. All right, C and D with graphs and rules and whatever that you're missing. So like C gives you the table, so it's looking for a rule and a graph. D gives you the graph, so it's looking for a rule and a table.
I did a 4-quadrant graph for all of them.
You don't have to. Like, you can, but a lot of times we just care about the y-intercept and what growth is happening.
I messed up stuff.
That's a good thing you got till Friday to fix things. Guys, these answer keys are on Schoology too. If you ever are like trying to figure out like, wait, what do we do here? You're allowed to check out the answer and kind of work it backwards. I used to do that. That's how I survived high school and college. Guys, sometimes like you got to figure out what works for you. My brain, like I figured out I can look at an answer and figure out like the way to get there and actually like learn from that. As opposed to just like look at the answer, copy it down and not learn. Yeah, that's an issue. You don't want to do that because then you'll get caught on the tests. Other questions on these patterns or anything else from 626?
Oh, can I just see the Windows 7 again? Because I didn't see
Yeah, I'm scrolling back up.
Okay. Well, I got that
107's
one.
3.5 repeating
I got that
because
one.
it has a 9 in the denominator, so you know ninths are going to repeat.
I divided 10, or no, I multiplied 10 so that it would go down to 8. So I just did that for the 8.
But remember, it's not 10. It's 18. That's the trap door, Bryson. This whole base is 18. It's not 10. Right? So you're not using 10. You're using 18.
It's because I cut off this triangle from the other one.
Yeah. So do you get your mistake now?
Yes.
Okay.
Mistake.
What? So this is going to be recorded, and it'll probably be up on YouTube by the time you're even done with your test. Or not done, but done with the class today. Guys, I want us to start the test today so we can see if we have any like things that we don't know and need to study. Also, because it's a decent day. So before I hand out tests, reminder, if you want to go outside, if you want to fight against the wind, these and some binder clips or paper clips are great for like, you know, a makeshift clipboard. We could also borrow Mr. Combs' clipboards, but he's very particular about getting them back. So if we borrow any from Combs, we've got to make sure we get them back. Any other questions about 626 before we move on? Not about 26. Okay. Yes.
I have a question about, so where would we be going outside to?
So hang on to that question because we got to talk about the test before I even figure that out. Because I need to like go take a glance and see if it's going to make any sense. Make sure each of you gets one of these, please. One for each of you. One for each of you. No one beside you, right? The copy machine hates me. Here's what I mean. Everybody look at number 3. You're going to look at number 3 and be like, what the heck, Hudson? Which actually maybe not. Those of you that are intuitive could probably figure out, like, you know, you can make a pretty good approximation for where those are. But guys, here's what my number 3 printed out as. And here's what my number 3 was supposed to look like.
I didn't get any.
I know, here's what my number 3 was supposed to look like. It was supposed to have all the grid lines. So if you would like to make, and I even darkened up some of these images, if you would like to make a note on your paper, that point right here is 1, 0. That point right there is 1, 0. The x-intercept.
I'm already figuring out where each line goes. Because
So don't start thinking about the test too much because I got more to show you. Look at number 6. It looks like this. However, what my printout made it look like it was going to look like for you guys is this.
Oh, it only shows squares.
I know. And what my document was supposed to make it look like was this. Now, I did help you out by telling you how you could make it in Desmos. So on your test, it says like, hint, in Desmos, guys, these are the points where you start. These are the points where it starts. So like, you know those points. You could just do this on graph paper. If you don't want to fight with this space that doesn't really have any grid lines. Well, yeah, there's like, so every 5, you can see the weighted grid lines. And if you look real hard, like you can kind of maybe see them. But like you are going to have to list out the x, y of the new coordinates. You decide if you want to do this here or do it on graph paper. But we'll do this somewhere. And aside from that, I think that's really all the typos. Although you will need graph paper for 10 and 11. So like, don't think like, oh, I'm going to try to not use graph paper. You will need graph paper. Here, so 4-quadrant graph. There you go, so. Since you said you did a 4-quadrant graph for everything. Liam.
Number 3, there's just the letter B hovering in midair.
Oh, that's funny. A got chopped out by the hole punch, I guess perfectly. So go ahead and put an A right here.
Oh,
Because A apparently got perfectly chopped by the hole punch. You need a rule for A and a rule for B. Remember, each rule should include a y-intercept and a slope. And here's your caution from me, positive versus negative slope. Make sure we pay attention to that. All right, go ahead, start your test. I'm going to check outdoor spaces, see where it's cool that we spread out. And we should be able to spread out for like the last 20 minutes. Yeah? Should be fine as long as we all show our work. Actually, I might go today independent, tomorrow partner, or vice versa. So you guys think about which you would rather have, partners today or partners tomorrow. But I don't think we're going to do partners both days. So let me go see where we can spread out. I think 8th grade might be out here is the only thing I'm worried about. Alright, your options will be family room, the courtyard off the family room, and the back patio, courtyard, whatever you want to call it, between the Phoenix and Perry space. Okay, if you're going outside, I highly advise take something that can hold your paper on it. I don't know how many binder clips I have, but like whatever you borrow, I need back.